Rachel rose just before the first light of dawn touched the horizon. Living in Los Angeles had its perks, but the pull of the woods was always in her blood. She pulled on her form-fitting workout gear and headed straight to the recreation center at the heart of their community. The two-story building was the hub for all major PAC events, boasting everything from basketball and pickleball courts to a modern gym, an Olympic-sized pool, and her favorite, the weapons training room. While the entire PAC had access to the center, the weapons room was strictly reserved for those qualified to train solo. As Rachel swiped her card to open the door, the unmistakable scent of him wrapped around her like a favorite glove. Warm, comforting, almost suffocating. Fighting this bond was going to be challenging. "What are you doing here?" she asked, turning sharply to face him. "My new sister-in-law wanted to redeem herself for picking on my mate," Lazarus said, a playful gleam in his eyes. "I guess I can forgive her now." "Oh, Cassidy," Rachel sighed, shaking her head. "Meddling Cassidy." "What are you up to?" Lazarus asked, his gaze sharpening. "Some weapons training," Rachel replied, a teasing smile curling her lips. "A girl has to learn how to defend herself." "Need a sparring partner?" he offered with a grin. Rachel almost declined, but something told her she might enjoy the challenge. The harsh fluorescent lights buzzed on, illuminating the gleaming array of weapons mounted on the walls, everything from traditional swords to modern martial arts gear. Lazarus's eyes immediately swept over the impressive display. "What's your weapon?" Lazarus asked, his voice laced with interest. Rachel stepped forward, her fingers grazing the handles of various swords until she found her favorite, a sleek katana with a high-carbon steel blade and a rayskin hilt. This was the one. With a confident smile, she pulled it off the wall. Lazarus nodded, his excitement palpable. "I'll take one, too." They warmed up quickly before each grabbing a katana, the cold steel gleaming under the harsh lights. "Are you sure you want to fight me?" Lazarus asked, a teasing grin tugging at his lips. "We could use practice weapons. No need to risk injury." Rachel's eyes narrowed, her playful challenge clear. "Coward," she taunted. Lazarus chuckled, taking a ready stance. "Okay, then." At first, their movements were measured, a dance of strikes and counterstrikes. Rachel moved like water, her body a blur of motion, slipping past his defenses with eerie ease. Her katana sang through the air with deadly precision, each strike faster than the last. Lazarus, using his size and strength, delivered powerful, deliberate blows. But he soon realized that Rachel's agility made her a formidable opponent. She was fast, unnaturally fast. Every time he thought he had an opening, she darted out of his reach, landing another quick strike before he could react. Their katanas clashed with sharp metallic rings, each strike louder than the last. Rachel wasn't holding back. Her attacks were swift and merciless. Lazarus barely managed to parry a series of quick slashes aimed at his midsection. The tension between them built with each near miss. She moved with supernatural grace, barely touching the ground as she circled him, always staying one step ahead. Lazarus tried to anticipate her next move, but she was a blur. Too elusive, too quick. With a swift turn, she dropped low, her katana slicing through the air toward his legs. He jumped back, narrowly avoiding the strike, but Rachel was already moving again. A flicker of steel and her katana nicked his shoulder, drawing a thin line of blood. Lazarus gritted his teeth, his respect for her skills growing. She wasn't just good, she was exceptional. "Not bad," he said, admiration lacing his voice as he blocked yet another strike. But Rachel pressed on, her attacks coming faster, sharper, more relentless. She feinted left, then darted right, her blade cutting a clean arc through the air. Lazarus brought his katana up just in time to deflect it, the force of the impact rattling his arms. But Rachel didn't stop. She pressed forward, forcing him back, step by step, always keeping him on the defensive. Lazarus tried to find an opening, but she was always one move ahead. Her movements were mesmerizing, fluid, precise. The katana had become an extension of her body, each strike a seamless part of the dance. Finally, Rachel found a way inside his guard. With a swift flick of her wrist, she brought the flat of her blade against his chest, pushing him back hard enough that he stumbled. Pinned against the wall, Lazarus barely had time to process the sensation of her katana resting lightly against his throat. His breath came fast, his heart hammering as he looked into her eyes. There was a glimmer of triumph in them, mixed with something deeper. Respect, maybe. Or a challenge. Looks like I win, Rachel said softly, her voice a mix of playful smugness and something else. I underestimated you, Lazarus admitted. Your speed was greater than I anticipated. I guess the city did not carve much away from you. Rachel lowered her katana, stepping back with a satisfied smile. I told you, I'm not some little mouse, she said, her tone light but laced with seriousness. Before she could move further, Lazarus reached for her free hand, pulling her close. Their bodies pressed together, the heat between them instant and undeniable. She could feel the pulse of energy radiating off him, intense, intoxicating. His scent, a mix of sweat and something deeper, more primal, surrounded her, overwhelming her senses. For a brief moment, the world outside the training room faded, and all that remained was the thudding of her heartbeat in her ears. Her katana slipped from her fingers as she focused entirely on him. The tension in the air thickened, the magnetic pull of their bond drawing her closer. She felt the ancient magic of their kind binding her to him. Something old and powerful coursing through her veins, just as it did through him. Her breath caught as her gaze locked with his, and for a fleeting second, she saw the hunger in his darkened blue eyes, a longing so intense it almost seemed to burn through her. She hoped, for both their sakes, that the same desperation wasn't mirrored in her own. She should step back, step away, but the pull was too strong, too tempting.